1, 2, 1, 2. You're tuned in to Knock 'em Out the Box, episode 92.
92.
My name is Vinnie Paz. I'm here with my co-host, with the co-most, the Mr. Majestic, left, right, left kid, Mr. Brendan Long. What's the word, man?
Chilling, man. You know, just ready to go, ready to talk about. We got big news tonight.
This Irish Billy's in the building too. He perked up thinking something was gonna. Billy has nothing to bet on this weekend, so we have to figure something out there.
I was gonna take
Couldn't even get the
I was
line.
gonna take an old stale bagel and go to like Kensington and let two bums fight over it, and Billy could
put some money on
Not a
there.
bad idea.
get some action on that.
You
You like
think
how
that-
you like how I dropped a Philly neighborhood too, right?
I do.
I go to
do.
Philly so much now. I feel like
Yeah, you were just here.
Yeah,
Yep.
you don't call nobody when you're here.
I told you for like a week I was coming. You're like, I can't come meet you. So I went to, what is it called?
Bustleton?
Huh?
Bustleton?
That's where I
Bustleton
was.
Ave?
I was in Northeast Philly.
Northeast Philly.
Interesting place. That's your version of the sticks, huh?
I mean, it depends on how far out there, but
It was far.
Yeah, you were in a Ruski neighborhood.
Oh, and I was hanging out with,
Yeah. Well, he was
I was
Armenian or something?
I don't know, I was doing some business with some guy with truck jewels and an accent.
Right.
Yeah. And he was drinking at 9 o'clock in the morning and smoking cigarettes.
What drink did he have?
Alcohol mixed into a can of something I've never seen that resembled Sunny Delight.
Wow.
And I think I told you on the phone, he smoked like 25 heaters in about a 15-minute exchange.
You did.
Yeah. Yeah.
It all adds up.
Oh,
It all adds up.
yeah. And he
I wanna
went
buy
by
something from this guy.
That's what I'm saying. I want him on the podcast. He should have figured out if he liked boxing or not. And then
I would ask him. I have his number.
Yeah,
I should ask him. All right. I'll send him a picture. The
of
picture I
David
put on IG.
Just send him a picture
Yeah.
of David Avanesian
Like, you know this guy?
or Victor Chinian and just
He's like,
see what his response is.
I was at that fight. Yeah. He goes by Tony,
Okay.
and I know it's not his real name.
Of course.
Yeah, it was an interesting trip.
Interesting interaction.
Yeah, and I fell in love with the Amtrak, and you guys let me go to Northeast Philly Dolo. And I had to grab my sack and go down there and do it, and I did it. Well,
Billy wants us to wake up on a weekend morning.
if you came to New York and you're like, yo, B, I gotta go make a cash transaction in the middle of nowhere. I would have been like, bet I'll be there early. I'll be there with bells on. I'll recon mission for that.
I suppose we both have to tell you now that you're a better man than us.
Yeah, I think I can admit that.
I quit.
That's fair.
I'm gonna start my own podcast.
There's surprisingly some more, a bit more news there to cover this week than there is fights. Obviously, we're gonna review past weekend, but coming up, we're gonna breeze through what's coming up this week because there's a Mayweather exhibition fight, which they're just unreal. There's a couple real guys on the undercard, and there's a fight in Philly at the Met, which I told you off air, B, not even tonight, but the Met's been there forever. They redid it. It's beautiful. They're having Madonna did a series of nights there. I imagine it's beautiful to see fights there. And we both talked about what is the promotion. If we had known about this, you might consider coming down for it,
Yeah.
But we'll get into that. So something's about to happen that we just didn't want to happen. And that's these guys at featherweight. Leo just won in knockout of the year, and we named the four of the guys, and we said, let's get this division tightened up a little bit and have these guys fight each other. So the first bit of news is bad news. Nick Ball versus Ronnie Rios is being finalized for Ball's WBA featherweight world title on October 5th in Liverpool. A fight or two ago, Ronnie Rios got beat up and stopped by MJ. So, I mean, B, these really, look, I know these are the lower weight divisions, but the really tiny guys, sometimes you see this and you go, okay, well, there's not
I didn't
many
know
guys.
he was still around.
Neither did I. I thought he retired after the MJ thing, and I think he came back and beat a guy that we don't know. So we continue to be frustrated by the sport. I don't know if you're as frustrated as me, or if you're okay with a homecoming fight
No,
for Nick Ball in his hometown against
no.
a guy. He's gonna. So I'm not happy about this, considering there's 3 other championships and a guy like MJ who doesn't have anything right now, but is really good.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
Sonny Edwards versus Galal Yafai is in talks to happen later this year. Eddie Hearn said, "I love that fight.
Yeah.
I love that fight." They don't like each other either.
Sonny Edwards doesn't like anybody.
It's odd because he's mad likable.
Yeah, but I think we like him because he talks a ton of shit.
He does, but I still find him likable though, like a
Right.
likable dude.
Yeah, I do too. He's
when
funny.
they say I'd like to have a pint with that guy, like I like Sonny Edwards.
Right.
There's other people that entertain us, but I'm like, he would annoy us after like 10 minutes.
Yeah, but
I think we crack up at Sonny Edwards.
Yeah,
if we're hanging out.
he's like a funny guy. I like him. He's got charisma.
He does. He does.
He reminds me of a young Paulie.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
He's British.
Yeah, that's good. So we both like that fight. We spoke about this briefly. Things seem to be getting more real, and we're getting dates now. Bakram Murtazalayev versus Timmy Zhu for Murtazalayev's IBF super welterweight title it's in advanced negotiations. It's going to happen. It's going to headline PBC's first non-pay-per-view show on Amazon Prime, October 19th in Orlando.
Okay.
So odd place, in my opinion.
Sure.
For
gotta be the venue.
Right.
You know.
That they sniffed around
for
that date, and that's what they came up with.
It's sort of like when Top Rank had where'd they have fucking Tio fight recently, like in like Boca.
Yeah,
like
it was odd, right?
Yeah, like a 1,500 seat theater in Boca.
It was odd.
I'm lying about Boca. I think it was in like North Miami or something. But yeah, it was a weird spot.
You're not gonna like this either. Some of this news is not, wetting our whistle note, Diddy. The IBF have ordered Boots to defend his IBF title in a rematch versus Karen Chuck Zion. I don't remember how to say his name.
Call him Chuck.
Bro, I think I had that fight 12-0.
Yeah, this is
legitimately. I don't think I gave him. I just actually lost the ability to pronounce his name, because when I read the news, I said it right.
Mm-hmm. It's Chuck. It's Chukadzian.
With two dopes.
It's Chukadzian. Yeah.
Chukadzian.
Karen Chukadzian.
It's Karen, I think, is the right way you say it.
Yeah, this is the Abraham Lincoln.
He's got the Amish deal going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, super, super, super tough and durable. Boots, threw everything with the kitchen sink.
Boots kind of like ran around after him. He
yeah. It wasn't entertaining. I think we would both say, that was an entertaining fight, so we'll watch it again if they can't get something big.
Right.
I mean, this is who we have. Eddie Hearn also said they made an offer to Mario Barrios for a WBC and IBF unification fight. I like that way better.
I like that better.
If not for the reason that he's one step closer to unifying. If the deal is to go to 54.
I think this is just the IBF. Like historically, they're sort of honest, if that makes sense. Like with what they order, you know what I mean? Like this is the
I do.
Rank contender. You're the champ. You got to fight this guy.
No, I know what you mean. It's not, there's times we don't like something, but they're doing it by the book.
Right. It's just the way it goes.
He fought his way back up in their opinion.
I think he got three wins.
And it makes sense. Who really is there now after the guy. We talked about it being a two-man division for the whole history of this show, until one guy moved up and one guy got beaten up and retired. So it becomes, a wide open playing field. But Boots does not need to be fighting Chukadzian.
No.
We do not want that. And we both like Mario Barrios, punk rock kid, and he's got a belt and he's tough.
Yeah.
I
think it's a good fight for both guys involved.
I do too, and I think Boots can learn because that type of style that Barrios has, um, good for him to see those looks.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I don't like
Um,
is what Barrios looked like after his last fight. He looked like his face really swelled up.
yeah. You know what? You're
Yeah,
right. You're right. We
and I think
discussed that a little bit that we didn't
right.
like
I
that he
think
seemed a little bit touched up. You
I think
know.
Boots puts the beats on. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
mean, look, Boots.
I mean,
We basically think until he gets the it fight, Boots is going to put the beats on everyone. So
yeah,
who do we want to see him against? I like Barrios as a guy. You know what I'm
right,
saying? I think he's a sturdy,
sure,
serviceable pro. You know what I mean? I don't think of Mario Barrios as a champion in my head. You know what I mean?
right.
I think of him as a very serviceable pro that I just happen to like. I think he's a cool kid. He loves the sport. He works hard. You know what I mean? There's
And
nothing to dislike.
he's kind of known now. Chukatsian is not, even though he fought
Correct.
Boots.
Correct. Curious if you saw this news because this is your guy.
What do you got?
Shakur Stevenson versus Joe Cordina is being
So
discussed.
I've heard about this. Yeah.
Your thoughts there? To where, you know, I, I really,
I don't
just
understand why Cordina's not getting a rematch with that Irish Italian guy. Um,
he has a fight. I think that
okay.
kid that beat him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Um,
No, I mean lined up, meaning that's why it didn't
yeah,
happen. I
yeah.
think he wanted to take advantage of that win and then maybe
Anthony
run it back.
Cacace. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a mobster here named Joel Cacace. He's fighting Josh Warrington. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I like that. And then come
Josh
back and
Warrington still, I thought he retired.
we just talked about him. Who were we talking about? Were we talking about that division B in general and
Yeah,
reeling off
just
names? And
yeah.
I think I said it. And you're like, wait, hold on a second. He's
Yeah,
still fighting?
he's still fighting. Yeah. I guess Cordina. Yeah, I mean, Cordina wants a challenge. I think uh, Shakur wants another name. Stay busy. I
I'm only okay with it B if it's announced soon and happens soon.
yeah,
Like if
right,
this is like fucking January and
right, and yeah,
then Tank's not fighting until 2025 after his next fight because we know what he's gonna do there,
yeah.
which is coming up. So we're okay. We're okay with the Joe Cordina fight if it happens soon.
I
You
guess yeah. If
know,
they
I
just
guess
get it
we
in
have
there,
to accept
yeah.
it. And then Turki Al Sheikh has stated he wants to make Big Bang Jang versus Martin Bakoli and said it could headline a potential Riyadh season card in China in the first week of December. We called for that fight, B.
Yeah,
Turki Al Sheikh is clearly listening to us
of course.
via Mr. Altal, probably. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um, Turkey also said that they're very close to deals for Shakur Stevenson,
yeah,
Devin Haney,
yeah,
Virgil Ortiz, and
yeah.
William Zapata to fight on Riyadh season card.
I
Shakur likely
yeah.
Joe Cordina, or oh, excuse me, Ortiz could be versus Israel Madrimov, Boots, or Tim Zoo. So
Hold on. Say that again. Or
uh, so Virgil Ortiz after
okay.
his
All
most
right.
recent win, um, he could be his potential next opponents, Virgil Ortiz, are Israel Madrimov,
Okay.
Boots, or
Who's
Tim
not
Zoo.
who's not at 54? Is he? This is Turkey saying this?
Yes.
Okay. And
I
and
would
now he
say
wants to work with Tim Zoo again?
correct. I would say to you, here's where B's this is a guy playing with toys gets, but there's a piece of noise that's a piece of news coming up that's more that than this. I'm not
Okay.
offended by the Boots thing simply because we know he's a huge welter,
Right.
and if he's chasing Bud, which is let's be real, that's when they're alone at their gym in Philly, that's the fight they want. That's the fight that
Yeah.
you know.
It's the
If
baton
he,
pass. It's the
it
torch.
is.
Yeah.
If he wants to unify 47, I think long run that is better for Boots Ennis. That is my opinion in regards to our show and what we're putting out there
Hmm.
for him to unify that. but the catch 22 is you're running out of time with Boots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Okay.
with Boots, Bud.
Gotcha.
I,
Yo,
I
real quick. I'm just poking around on BoxRec while we were talking.
yeah,
It looks like Cordina. I think he used being weight drained against Kakache as a reason why he, got blown out. So he's moving up.
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
assumed that was going to be his reason
from super feather to light.
to
So,
say I
but
could go to to
bold to
30,
and
35.
I think it's a good stay busy for Shakur. Anyway, didn't mean to backtrack.
Not at all. Not
Okay.
at all.
Um,
So I mean, yeah, I love all three of those.
Scenarios.
Yeah, well, I think what I said to you was we had the back-to-back weeks of 154 fights of really tough guys, and you and I were saying we'd love to see Boachuk Madrimov. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And then that's a nice solid fight for each other, and then the winner of that's right back in the hunt for a belt there.
Yep.
Is that off to say?
No.
And we were thinking, Virgil Ortiz, Bud. It just doesn't. I just don't think Bud thinks that he's. I don't think he's interested. I don't think
Bro,
he's horny, and I don't think the
right,
bag is there.
if he's not interested in Boots, he's probably not interested in Virgil.
Agreed. And one thing, we've been semi critical of some of Turkey's ideas as of late, but he can change things up really quick when he gets on that. This is the fight I want. You
Yeah,
give Boots 6, 8. I mean, I keep saying Boots. You give Bud Crawford 6, 8, 9, 10 million to fight either one of them. Everything changes, and with one fell swoop
correct.
of an email. You know what I'm saying? So, us saying that is us knowing that if the Canelo fight's not there, okay, then what is the next biggest thing for me? If the next biggest thing for him there is Boots or Virgil Ortiz via Turkey Al Sheikh in Saudi Riyadh season for a bag, but Bud isn't ducking anyone. We know
No,
that. We're
yeah,
talking about
he's there.
he's 36, 37 and going through 4 divisions. It's not about that, Um,
All right, so we're saying that Turkey's trying to set up like some sort of mini tournament. Is that what we're thinking with Tim, Virgil, Boots, Terrence?
well,
I mean, you could do a full tournament
the way I'm
at that
looking
weight.
at it is whoever he's trying to make the fight for Ortiz, right? Of these 3 guys, those other guys, there's an instant fight.
Right.
Especially assuming Tim Tszyu wins the IBF against Murtala Zaya.
Yeah, Motel Zayev. Right. So
You get what I mean?
here's what I'm saying. What instead of saying like here's the potential for like Bud, right? Bud's potential opponents or these potential opponents.
Yes.
If I'm Turkey,
Yeah.
put my turkey hat on.
Yeah, do.
I'm trying to set up a tournament. I'm going to discuss with Eddie and Frank and Bob.
I love this idea, by the way.
And I would take 54. And I say Bob because he's just another promoter. But I'm going to talk to the promoters like Showtime did. And
Super 6, do it at 54. We just talked about how deep it was. No Diddy.
The Super 6 at 54
came out of nowhere, B. We were saying how dead it was, when Charlo was reigning.
Right.
Because
here's my finish line though. Have a grand prize. Meaning if you want everybody to do it, like
what was there a grand prize for Super 6?
I don't think so. It was the
So
trophy.
it was the paydays and the trophy.
Yeah.
That Andre won. So it wasn't like, oh, and there's 5 million for the winner. Bonus on top of the payday. You're saying all these guys get what they get, and then 10 million if you're the winner and
that's
you
it.
unify.
That's my number. An extra 10 million for
I love it. I love it. And we're talking about this isn't we used to do dream booking. 10 million is nothing for the.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
An
So
extra,
you're having fights for.
So we'll say 20.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, maybe a guy like Madrimov or Boachuk while they're fighting through the tournament, yeah, maybe the paydays are 1 million,
Right.
1.2, and the
Right.
bigger name if you're
Right.
Bud or you're even Ortiz, who is
Yeah.
becoming there's always an A side and a B side, guy. There always is. There
Right.
just is. Even when stars fight, guys, like the amount of times fights have been 50-50, you can probably count on two hands,
Right.
50-50 meaning the paydays, guys, not the
All
not
right. So
the
I'm
odds.
I'm being honest right now
Uh-huh.
because you have to have fill-ins with this, right?
Meaning,
Someone gets hurt, someone gets knocked out, someone
sure,
has a bad camp,
sure,
someone can't make weight.
sure.
In this division, and I'm using this as a previous example of the Super Six.
Can I
Like,
say something first? I believe
of
we
course you
went
can.
through 54 and we were like, yo, 8 of these 10 guys are the real deal. I believe
Right.
we said that.
And we're
So go
not even
ahead.
including guys like Xander Zayas. You got, guys you could fill in.
Regardless,
Charles Conwell.
yes, regardless of our critique, Vito Milnicki, regardless of our critique, it's a
Right.
guy. Well, only one loss. It's someone.
Dude, Charlo's looking to get back at that weight. I think he tweeted something about it.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, he's
Fund-
absolutely.
Fundora.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is,
If Spence comes back, it's at 55.
and that was what I was just gonna say. And then Spence. So theoretically, you have a 6 that we named,
Yeah.
right? That you could do a full-on tournament with. Okay. And then you have all these other guys
Yep.
as backfill, and you could
Yes.
actually do an undercard tournament with those guys.
With those guys. These long cards that are all day.
That's what
that
we'll call
start
it
in the
too, because
day,
I came up with it. We'll call it the long card.
the long card. Those guys fight on the undercards. You
Right.
almost have an all 154
That's what I'm saying.
day. You know what I mean? You could easily do.
How about this? How about have, like, back in the day, like in wrestling tournaments,
Yeah.
we called them rat tails.
Mhm.
So rat tails was like when you lose and you're out of the tournament, you could wrestle your way back into
back
the tournament.
in.
These guys could fight their way into
Yes.
a tournament.
Into the tournament. Yeah,
Hold-
you have a guy.
am I onto something or am I onto something?
You're onto something. You
All
got
right.
guys on the fringe of Vito Milnicki, Charles Cromwell, guys like that. What if they just steamroll through the
Right.
under tournament and one of the guys upstairs loses? Because remember, it was a point
Yeah.
system.
Yes.
There was a point system to the Super Six. Would
Yeah.
you like to keep that the way that they did that? Were you good with it?
Yeah,
How
I
it
liked it.
worked? A
Yeah.
draw with so many points, a win with
Yeah.
so many points, a knockout with so many points.
Yeah.
I think it was really well done, and I know we loved it as it happened. And the
loved it.
cruiserweight one was great too.
Great. Fantastic.
And 68 was just deep then,
Deep.
man. Mikkel Kessler, Carl Frock, Lucien Boutte,
Darrell,
Ward,
Ward.
Darrell, just unreal, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Ward's run at that time was
and
just,
Butte wasn't even in that.
it wasn't in the Super Six.
Wasn't even in the Super Six.
Yeah.
No, and then you had fringe guys like Saki Obika. I think they moved him
who
in.
was hard as nails.
Right, and they moved him in because Arthur Abraham, I think, got hurt.
Yeah, he hurt his arm.
Yeah.
Jermaine Taylor ended
got
up at
knocked out.
68. Yeah,
Right.
it was crazy.
Yeah, that was after he beat Jeff Lacey. They put him into the tournament.
Yeah, I wonder what happened that it only happened one other time with the cruiserweight one. Do you think it was a money issue?
Yeah, so from what I heard it was from a production standpoint, it's really difficult to do because of what we just said. Guys get hurt, knocked out. Same reason you and I talk about this all the time.
Wasn't a Road Warrior Glenn Johnson a fill-in?
They had to put him in. They had to put, and he fought Carl Froch, and Carl Froch said it was like hitting a piece. It was like hitting oak.
I was at that fight in AC.
Were you?
Yeah.
Froch, I think, beat him like, what was it like? It was like, was it 116, 112, something like that?
Yeah, it was an 8-4
117, 111. Yeah, I mean, but he said he said the guy don't move. I'm just pounding on this guy.
I love the Road Warrior.
Oh yeah. Glenn Koff. But yeah, so that's my idea for this.
Great idea. And we have the money to do it with this organization now.
KEOTB, Billy.
The people that told you
with Billy's winnings, we can put this on.
Right.
If Billy listened to Tony Taro, aka the Great Pezzini, aka Pezzy Picks,
I
think we'd be able
My
to
other guy made money this weekend. When we get to Billy Betts, I think he put the Maloiks on himself. This Billy Betts. My other guy, I wake up to a thank you again.
And no dinner yet.
No, from him.
Yeah,
he's offered this. Bindle sticks never. He's always like, I got you.
I think because he keeps losing.
Well, what he's doing, B. What
I saw a video of him of a baby giving
what
him
the
beer.
friend in question that we're talking about, B. He takes all this information, right, that I give him,
right,
responds with great insight, then takes that and does what he will. I think we say shit here and Billy goes identical. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
This isn't true.
but okay. I thought that's what you did. My apologies.
I probably should do that. The problem.
My apologies.
When I go out on a limb.
I said in my opinion, because Billy and I, what we have to do now is, it's fun for the show, but we very rarely get over on this early because we record on Monday nights, guys, and you get it 36 hours later. So quicker than that, maybe 30 hours later. So what happens is, our conversation on Saturday, I said, "What's up? How you doing? Like, what's your day like?" And he was explaining that. I was like, "What time are you going to get sloshed?" And he's like, "Well, I like to get a nice," what was the word? We kept laughing at it.
Base.
He's like, I get a base.
I've heard about Billy's base.
Billy's base. Yeah. So there's a base being built during the day because there's still responsibility.
Right. He gets a slow rumble. Like he can't drive, but he can still like shop.
It's
so
the snowball that's getting bigger as it rolls.
Right. Like sometimes like if I'm we'll call it under the weather.
Yeah.
Saying, and I go with like the list to the store.
Yeah.
I don't come out with anything on that list, right?
Right.
So I gotta keep it, like as Billy says, just a nice base. Put a base coat on.
I texted you base in quotes, and that's all it was at 8:18 p.m. to let you know that the base was not a base anymore.
Was no longer. And then once the kids get tired,
they had the rollers out, and he's on.
Yeah, well, once he slips them some NyQuils, it's time to take it up a notch. So what I said, I said, there's Guido Vianello.
Yep.
And
go ahead with that.
I said, this is going to go to distance. Neither one of them are good, and it's going to go to distance. The guy's eye turns into a mutant eye, and he was 90 seconds away from the over.
He was like,
but B, you know how frustrated I am for Billy. They let him go 3 rounds too many anyway. So why not let him get one more and get the over? That's how you know how crooked.
Bro, what was that doc? We'll get into it, but the doctor kept sending him back out there, and the guy's like,
we have to talk about someone sending someone back out there later on too.
Okay.
Yes, the doctor, the corner. So I'm going. This is good. Neither one. We're going to talk about those fights.
The doctor had money on that fight and was going.
He did. He had the under.
Yeah, he's like, how many 3 fingers am I holding up? And the guy's like,
yes. He's like,
he was big fucking Cyclops. That's what he looked like.
Billy loses by 90 seconds on that one, and I told him take the over in Derevyanchenko and Mbilli. So we'll get onto that when we get to Billy Betts. But all right, I didn't realize. My apologies, Billy. All right, Gervonta Davis. Next fight take place on November 2nd at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, which it's known PBC have reserved, though it's not confirmed. Other dates and venues are also reserved in different locations, but it's looking like November 2nd at T-Mobile Arena.
Who's the opponent?
Well, we spoke about that.
Is it TBA?
Of course it is, since we knew he was going to give Pitbull the run back, and Pazzi picks and Benito Mussolini said this Pitbull's going to get his head boxed off,
and he did.
So dare he fight him? I don't know. He's not, guys. We said it. We called it. He's not going to fight anybody, and it's already appears that Shakur is wrapped up. So throw that out. And then Loma's off till 2025. So we know that's not coming. So who is hovering around there? Ryan is suspended. It's certainly not Haney. Haney's
Right.
fighting in, when he
In,
comes back to Saudi.
in carnivals.
Right. And
Yo,
carnivals.
did you see that?
Yes.
I
Yes.
Why?
Yeah. Honestly, you have to tell me. I'd like to, I didn't
Why?
ask.
Why are you 26 at a carnival?
I didn't ask Ray Known. I didn't ask my man Bryant. These are guys who are professional fight. Why are you at a carnival? Why are you there? Why are you wearing those pants? What are those pants?
It was Jenkos.
Yeah. Is he a
I think
90s raver?
I think they're hot now again.
They are, but it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
And I never
it
had
doesn't
him.
make you look any less goofy.
No, he looks like a goofball. Why?
He threw a punch at the kid that wouldn't hurt my son.
100%. He's never been in a street fight.
Never, ever, ever.
That was his
ever.
first
And
time.
he walks around at, I would guess, 175.
Yeah, he looked huge.
What, bro? Those are things when you're in 7th, 8th, 9th grade. Were they called fairs in New York when it was thrown by a Catholic school?
A carnival, a fair, or a bazaar.
Yes,
or a feast if it's Italian.
If it's Italian, but there are a lot of them in Philly, and I'm sure New York because of the Catholicism and Italians were like Saint Monica's Fair.
At the fair, the carnival.
Yeah. Carnival affair.
Like we just have like Saint Rosa Lima is the church down the block from here, and they have a big one end of June, beginning right before 4th of July.
He continues
right after 4th of July, excuse me, the weekend
after 4th of July. He continues to feed our appetite of not liking him. People can do a turnaround and you go, all right, we were a little bit.
The only thing that was worse than him were how bad his boys are at jumping somebody.
Yes, it was bad. It was bad. Really bad.
They don't even know how to hop somebody.
You could mash out one dude, and one's a professional fighter, and you're supposed to be with goons.
What was that corny arm punch he threw? Apparently, the dude was yelling his record at him with 2 losses on it, is what the guy was saying.
So Ryan Garcia, who's out of his mind and not a good guy, was trolling Dev. And posted it and said, pro fighter that can't even hurt a civilian or something like that. And Dev said, you would have liked him because he kept saying the N-word. So did he yell his record at him and say the N-word, or are they trying to turn it into a racial thing when it was just I don't like he was a fighter thing? I don't know.
I watch a lot of street fights on the internet.
Yeah, you're real sick in the head.
It's something I enjoy watching.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll spend hours watching street fights, and I do notice 2 things. One, you and I grew up around Caribbean Latino people.
Mm-hmm.
They use the N-word as much as and around.
Some use more. Some use it more.
Right. Than black people.
Yes.
And not the one with the hard R.
Correct. A term of endearment way.
Right.
It's not for you and I or Billy to say it. So we're not even going to repeat it, but you guys know.
Right.
There's the way that it's said amongst people lovingly.
Right.
And there's a way that if anyone says, I would punch them in their face.
Sure. So from what I've noticed is that and one of the examples now is Fat Joe says it a lot, and he has songs that are titled it.
And he's lighter than you and I.
Sure. No one ever had a problem with Joe saying it because culturally in the Northeast, it's said by Latino people.
Let's be honest here. There was lots and lots of white kids that ran with certain crews that said it in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
Absolutely. And no one flinched.
Nobody flinched.
Nah, nobody flinched.
The point you're about to make is great because it is the advent of social media, and you're seeing pockets of places that just ain't having it.
Right. So I'll see a fight and it'll be 5-on-5 Asian kids.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all dropping the M-bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in New York, in an Asian, they say it.
Mm-hmm.
I just always shrug my shoulders at it because I've heard, like you said, people of all
races, creeds, colors say it.
I see a lot of fights with
guys. By the way, it's not for me and B to decide who can. That's
Right.
that's
It's
for
not.
black folk to decide.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So
And
I've
when
seen
they
like
don't have a problem with it, like Styles P was like, "Yo, my white friends say that word around me."
right.
You know what
So
I'm saying? Like,
I've seen like Mexican dudes fight, say like in Texas, right? Let's just
correct.
make up a city in Texas.
Sure,
And
sure.
they're dropping it. And the comments are not one brother in here, and all I hear is N-words. And then like
Yes.
underneath that, someone will comment, or like a Fat Joe video where he's saying it and people
Yes.
comment. But then like black people will comment like, nah, it's cool. He's from New York.
You-
He can say that. So
It's
I,
a it's very much a mixed bag right
it's a
now.
mixed
But
bag. So
yeah,
if a Caribbean Latino guy in New York said that to Devin and Devin was from New York, there would be no,
no,
it wouldn't have been mentioned.
no,
But
no, no.
Devin is from San Francisco
He's
and
Vegas by
or,
way of San Fran, right?
and Oakland or whatever, the Bay
Yeah,
Area
yeah, yeah.
and
Bay Area to
Bay
Vegas.
Area to Vegas, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't, maybe you guys, this is such a weird thing to write in about,
right.
but I would imagine Northern California people say that.
I'm just
And,
gonna tell you, it's very, very, very northeast
is it?
where
Okay.
it's free passes are flown around everywhere.
Right.
I've moved around you know how much I've moved around this country, and it
Right.
shifts everywhere. You know what I
Right.
mean? I'm talking about not me saying it, but like
Yeah.
I'm always with Latinos.
Right.
You know what I mean? And um I've heard black folks not from our part of the country
Check them.
like nah, not check them, but verbally say like I'm not cool with anybody saying that
Right.
except black folks. And I have someone really close to in my life who's black that doesn't say it, and it's like I don't think anyone should say it, including blacks. But I
Right.
understand that.
Yeah. Yeah. Me
His
too.
thing is like, bro, we can't. He's always said, "How am I mad when other people of other races say it when we perpetuate the word in music, in the streets?" To like all my black and Latino friends call me that word.
Right.
So
Oh,
his
yeah. Yeah.
logic is if someone's keeping it saying it to you all the time and you end up saying it sometime, I'm mad at you. That
Right.
doesn't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not validating it, by the way. Like I
Yeah.
said,
No,
me
I
and
just,
you are Italian kids
yeah.
that aren't saying who can say it
right.
or who can't.
And
It's not our place.
I am new to this being an issue is what I'm making when Latino
I'm
people say it.
agreeing with you with this wave of I'll watch someone that's terrible freestyling, okay? That
Mhm.
like comes up on the algorithm.
Yeah.
These reels where there's like a mic hanging from the sky and
Yes.
people are freestyling,
Yeah.
and it's a person that's not black. Forget what they are, Latino, Hawaiian, Samoan, Mexican, Cholos, you know what I'm saying? No matter what they are. And they say it mad times, and all the comments are like, well, yo, what's up with this,
Right.
the N-bomb? And I'm like, oh, I'm not, you, like, I knew, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
a group of 10 dudes with 5
I,
different races, and
yeah.
everyone was saying the word to each other.
Right.
And it has,
I didn't know when it started to become an issue.
I don't either. And we outgrew being out there like that. Like we're not
Correct.
ripping and running like we used to be. You know
Well, I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
I was on the subway today
Yeah.
in Harlem.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I was talking to you when I was up there,
Yeah, you were.
and
You saw Robesi.
I saw Robesi Ramirez
Yeah,
on the train. I took a picture of him.
you did.
There were young Latino kids, urban hip hoppy, hippity hoppity,
Mm-hmm.
and my AirPod died, and I was switching from, and I could hear their conversation.
And you were just hit
I
by
was,
98 N-bomb.
Mhm.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
see, I wouldn't, if
on,
I was on the L, I wouldn't flinch.
I was on 100. I didn't flinch.
I know you did.
Yeah, I was like, oh, like they were. What more struck me was like they were young.
Yeah.
I was like, nice. It's still summer. That's what I said. Like these kids aren't
In school.
in school, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was walking towards Central. I was walking west to east towards Central Park, and I was like, oh, nice. They're going to the park. It's
Well, there's another part. We have to move on. I just want to make
yeah,
one point that you and I talk about a lot, even in our personal lives. The Mino Black from Dominicans that are
yeah,
like darker than Wesley Snipes.
yeah,
It's like I have a homie from Costa Rica with red hair and green eyes,
right,
100% Costa Rican, and he says it. So
right.
imagine being black and you're like, yo, did that Irish dude just
Yeah,
start
right.
fucking
Yeah, yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Now,
Yeah,
my man happens to be a goon and would beat 5 people up at once. So
right,
he's never been,
right.
and he's from Philly by way of Costa Rica. So it's like no one here ever said anything to him. But it's like if we were on tour, would someone say something weird? You know what I'm saying? Like absolutely, he's
Yeah,
white.
like
He's a white Latino. People
right,
don't understand that. We said it on the show, bro.
right.
Without getting super into personal life, your girl's Latina and has blonde hair.
My wife's
There's
white.
there's surfers in PR with like long blonde hair
Yeah,
and green eyes.
right.
And I don't think people understand that. You know what I mean? And that just
No,
the same way when you see an Italian that's got light hair and blue
blonde
eyes,
hair.
you're like, oh, I know you're probably from the north, or you're probably from here,
Right.
or you might be from here. Luis Alberto Lopez suffered a small brain bleed
Yeah, dude.
as
I
a
saw this
result.
today.
Yeah, as a result of his KO defeat to Angelo Leo last weekend, is now recovering. I hope it's not serious. When I hear that, I get nervous. Not for his health. He seems to be fine. You know what I
Right.
mean? I don't mean his health. I mean, yes, of course I'm worried about his health, but I heard he's okay. But brain bleed means long-term stuff. If I heard he's not allowed to do anything for 60 days. Nothing. He's not allowed in the gym. Can't hit the mitts.
I heard that.
Nothing.
Yeah.
60 days, and then they're gonna check him again, MRI. Inshallah, in 60 days, everything's good. You know what I mean? Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. He said he wants to come back. He said he wants to run it back. I saw an interview with Angelo Leo. He called everyone out, every single person with a belt.
Hmm.
The kid we think is the cheat code that's 6'1".
Hmm.
He said that fight's easy to make. It's in-house because that kid's with Top Rank. I keep
Yeah,
forgetting
yeah,
his name. We really like him and we think he's the cheat code. I mean, 6'1" at feather, you know.
yeah.
He called out Ray Vargas, he called out Nick Ball, and they said if Lopez is good, which we hope he is, would you run it back? He said, yeah, I'll run it back. So Angelo Leo's ready, man. You know.
Yeah. I
Um,
Let's do
so
it.
yeah, let's do it. I'd like to see it again. Look, I'd like to see him unified though. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
maybe Luis Alberto Lopez comes back and takes a softer touch to see how he feels. Lastly, in regard to news, another
Rafael Espinosa is the guy you're talking about.
yeah. Another Turkey Al Sheikh has revealed that he spoke to Ryan Garcia and wants to make the Devin Haney rematch. He will not try to circumvent Garcia's drug ban and will only work with him as clean. As I said, they're going to run it back the day, the day
Yeah.
that. So Devin's going to, in my opinion, they're going to get him in the ring before the end of this year, meaning let's say November, and then that rematch in April.
Well,
Because that's when
they gotta get him on street so he stops embarrassing himself.
who is worse of these two boobs?
Well, it's Ryan is worse.
Devin is getting it. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
he's unhinged, but Devin's getting into street fights. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if they can both stay, whatever the word trouble means, if they can stay out of real trouble, I think whether we care about it or not, it's going to be a big deal.
Right.
It just is, man. It just is. It's going to be.
I'll watch it.
I'll watch it. So yeah, this last week we had a ESPN card. We had the undercards on ESPN Plus, the main event on ESPN. They were up in, I believe I incorrectly said Montreal. They
It's
were in
Quebec City.
Quebec City. That was my bad. So apologies to everyone. I just want to mention Abdullah Mason. That's my blue chipper guy. That's my guy. How we were talking about Boots and Cool Boy Steph a couple years back. That's how I think of Abdullah Mason. 20 years old, good kid, humble, doesn't call people out. Great punch selection. He's dog walking people. I'm not
Yeah.
implying that he's in there tough yet. He's only 20 years old. Someone wrote me on Twitter and said I'm all wrong and that he's a weight bully. I've never heard of a 20-year-old weight bully before in my life.
That's the stupidest fucking term in boxing that fans made up, weight bully. If you can make the weight, you make the fucking weight. That's it. It's weight classes. And if you can make the weight, you make the weight.
if he keeps making 135, that's where he'll fight. He's only
Right.
20. He's tall and rangy, and he'll end up at 40. That's fine. You know, if you want, I think he's special, man. That's just my opinion. I like everything he does in there. He's close to his parents.
Yeah.
There guys who are saying, who cares? What are you talking about? Well, we can look at people like Tank and people like Adrian Broner and what the difference is between being a good, humble kid from a stable environment
Yeah.
and someone who can go off the rails. I
Sure.
love his punch selection. He's really mean as a fighter.
Sure.
B, what do you think in terms of how they're moving him as far as these two things versus each other? His amount of fights versus still not even being able legally to drink. You're 20, but you got 14, 15 fights.
15 fights, yeah.
So this is when you start hitting that 16, 17, 18. Do you want to see him in there against a faded ex-champion or a guy who fought for a title or a name guy?
In 3 fights, very quickly. So in a year from now, I want to see him. I want to see him in there with a real guy.
So would you put him in with a Yuri Orcus Gamboa next type guy?
Sure.
So he's ready for that level.
Absolutely.
A faded ex-champ.
Yeah.
A couple of those, and then you want to see him in 20,
he's like top 20, 25 in the division. He's got to get real guys in a year from now.
Mid to late. So by late 2025, you want to see him against a sturdy opponent.
Mid to late 25.
Okay. I'm with that. I just didn't know if you were concerned about the age versus the number of fights. You know what I mean?
it's the number of fights. And Top Rank, this is what they do better than everybody else.
The only time they didn't was, I bring it up often, is Nando El Feroz.
Yeah.
Is the only guy they ever moved too fast, you know. And I do think they thought he was ready. I don't think they throw him to the wolves intentionally.
Right. And I think
it looks like hindsight's 2020, you know.
Right. And I think the Garcias moved him, you know what I mean? And it was a whole
I mean, everything's changed. I mean, he knocked Tito down in that fight. Everything changes if he wins that fight. They look brilliant.
Right.
So Arslan Bek Makhmudov versus Guido Vianello. I picked Guido Vianello. It was an upset. He was almost 3-1. I told Billy, take that.
Yeah, that's can I ask a question?
Please.
Does Arslan Makhmudov have a twin brother that used to fight and was good? Because this dude sucks.
He's really bad.
He's really bad. And does he have Tourette syndrome? I'm not even kidding.
No, I don't know.
He's got a weird twitch, like he constantly twitches.
Constantly doing that neck thing with people that crack their neck.
Right. He's got
it's like a tick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder if he's got Tourette's. He's not
up
good.
There with one of the most unskilled. I'm talking
ever, all time.
I'm talking stuff you learn first day in the gym stuff he can't do. I mean, he can't throw a 1-2.
He can't do anything.
No, he really can't.
That's what I'm saying.
He really can't.
Did he trade places with someone? Like, did they have another guy that they were like, holy shit, this guy's great.
That
guy
and that Musk,
right, and right. Grok.
Is this Grok formed this guy? Is he what was the sheep that they cloned? What was her name?
I forget, but I know this. Yeah, but I know about
his clone or twin.
I was thinking more along the lines of Multiplicity with Michael Keaton. He's a copy of a copy.
He is.
You know,
he is. He's really bad. I think he comes back and gets beaten up. You know,
I think he should go back to whatever village he's from.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
kill everyone and just be
and herd goats or sheep or whatever it is that he does in that village. But yeah, I mean, they shaved the Sasquatch and
made him box.
And made him box.
He was what, 17-0 with 17 kills?
I'm telling you, he traded places with someone. Because I don't understand how Top Rank is like, oh, this guy's going to be a contender.
Right. He's like he looks like he's from that era remember where someone was just a huge goof like Ty Fields, and they were like, just get in there and box.
Yeah, he like I said last week, it looks like Value Web's like little brother. Like, I don't know. Like,
hey, look,
my eye.
He's sloth on the Goonies. Take it with a grain of salt. Guido Vianello looks, like a prime Ali against this guy.
I guess this guy Guido Vianello. Let me tell you about Guido Vianello.
Tell me.
Guido Vianello maybe guy who does a lot of stuff wrong, moving the wrong direction.
Yeah.
His feet move faster and his hands can't catch up with it. So Guido Vianello winds up getting himself cut in this fight because he has no control over his body whatsoever.
Against a one-eyed guy who's easy to hit.
Against a one-eyed Cyclops.
Throws wide punches that are easy to get out of the way with. You want to talk about a fight where you should
this is legit like Goliath. Like, he looked like a biblical Cyclops, this guy.
Yes.
Like the biblical illustrations.
Yeah, I know exactly the one you're talking about.
Right. So
he looks like the missing link.
He is the missing link.
Yeah, maybe he is.
Vianello moves in with his feet, but doesn't throw any punches. And he just and I noticed this in his previous fight where he lost. He just kind of like jumps in, right? So he like steps back, he puts his hands up, and then just like dives in. And just smashes his head onto either the guy's chest, shoulder, or in the case of Makhmudov, they collided. And I don't know if you saw that, because the commentary team didn't.
Yeah, I saw it.
He got a big cut in his eyebrow. So now he's got set out like a dum-dum.
And which is even worse for him, because this was a fight that will definitely get him a nice fight. It's not worthy of it.
Yeah, top guys kill Guido Vianello. We'll see him again.
I put in Guido Vianello against Jared Anderson. I make that right now.
And I'd pick Anderson to beat him. If he ever comes back. So did you see the second angle that they've released of the Bacoli uppercut? That, remember, we were like, it didn't even look like he touched him?
Yeah.
Dude, Bacoli punched his head. Jared Anderson's head touched the back of his trunks.
I can't believe his head didn't come off of his body into.
I can't believe he got up after that.
Yeah, I think
Bacoli throws like Big George. That's what he's like. It's weird, like arm punches with a ton of power. He got torque on them arm punches
with an iron chin, like George.
Yeah.
If you make Jared Anderson Guido Vianello next in the fall, I pick Guido Vianello to beat up Jared Anderson. That's how done he is, and I got to stand on that.
Okay. I just think Vianello is
that bad.
He stinks.
Yeah.
He's so frustrating to watch.
Well, you think Jared Anderson stinks. You always have. So we're gonna have another one of those fights.
Right.
Asles Iglesias.
I love that name.
Saying Agbeko, me too. I think Asles Iglesias is good. I want to see him in there again.
I want to see him again.
Obviously want to see him again a little bit, step up in competition, but he's good.
I like him.
He beat Morel in the amateurs, I believe. So his pedigree is there. Let's talk about this main event. It's interesting. Christian Mbilli, the #1 guy at 68, Sergey Derevyanchenko. Your fear was Derevyanchenko's shot. I said there could be an upset special here. I don't know if I look crazy because he fought with one arm. Look, I gave him probably 3 rounds, Derevyanchenko, with one arm. I don't think it's insane that a 2-arm guy could have won 3 more, and that you have a draw.
Yo, this is a guy that a lot of people say beat Golovkin. This is a guy that really his only losses to Charlo that were decisive.
That's the only one of the 5 that I'm like, no, he lost that. No problem. Right. No problem scoring it. No heat with it. The other 4 are all. There are people that still. I think that G fight was 2019. You'll still see someone pop up out of the blue everywhere, and then it'd be like Derevyanchenko won. He's really. Yeah, I still think he's really good.
Danny Jacobs. Right, they fought.
I thought that fight was close.
Close, yeah. It was a splitter.
I saw signs before his arm was hurt. He's got a great jab. His feet are good.
Yep.
Derevyanchenko.
And Mbilli is not He's very raw still.
I'm telling you, bro. I've used it once before. I can't remember who. I kept using it. I kept on saying this guy's Jeff Lacy.
Yeah.
Christian Mbilli is Christian Mbilli's built like Jeff Lacy. Looks like
Yeah.
he's looks like he's a dude that would be in a muscle magazine.
Yeah.
I I don't know if we know. Do you think a one-armed guy is a test of his chin? He was getting clipped with rights. It seems like his chin's sturdy. His head is not on the line a lot. It's always on the line.
Yeah, he doesn't move his head. I think that's probably a bad habit developed from knocking guys out, lesser competition. You develop bad habits.
Remember we were talking about someone's head being on the line horizontally and diagonally?
Yeah.
It's also always on the line. That with the uppercuts
Right.
there all
All
day.
the time. Yeah.
A guy
he's gonna get knocked out.
A guy like Canelo, not that there's other guys like Canelo, but a guy like Canelo that likes to counter but hits hard, a guy that can counter and crack is gonna put him on his back pockets.
Yep. Yeah, he's gonna get knocked out.
I don't even think it's gonna take long if he's fighting real guys. You know what I mean? Who's at 68 now? Because Morel and Benavidez went up. I think a guy like Caleb Plant is a nightmare for him. And I
want to see him in Munguia fight. I'd like to see that.
I think that's the fight you make. I think if Munguia gets by,
and I think Munguia beats him.
I think he might stop him. If Munguia gets by this guy, it's this coming month, right? A few weeks. Jaime Munguia is fighting.
Is he?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fighting Brazilian. Yeah.
Yeah.
End of September.
Yeah. So let's make Christian Mbilli, Jaime Munguia didn't he just sign the Top Rank?
Mm-hmm.
So now we're in house.
Let's do it, baby. I like it.
Let's do it in the first quarter of 2025.
Do it in December.
Yeah, Well, didn't Mbilli get hurt?
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he got hurt too.
He said he hurt his shoulder.
Oh shit!
But I don't know how serious it is. I mean,
yeah, but the muscle guys always get hurt.
Yeah, I mean, Derevyanchenko's arm was dangling. That's different.
Yeah, I think he's got to get surgery. They said this week.
Yeah, so who knows what's going to happen there? This stuff is very tough for us to cover because you go, well, we're gauging a one-arm guy.
Yeah,
and
I just didn't think much of Mbilli ahead of time. I feel like we get these type of guys in great shape and they're knocking everybody out and they're doing this, they're doing that.
Do we want to call him a French Montreal Edgar Berlanga? It's my opinion that if you have a one-armed 38-year-old in front of you and you're a puncher and you didn't get him out of there, that's a loss to me.
But it also speaks to me, like, why didn't you punch his arm?
Yeah, I mean, of course. And look, I think Andre Rozier is a boxing guy. That should have been stopped. Gary Starks really wanted to stop it. You could tell.
Did he?
You keep asking.
This Derevyanchenko was being loud at my house, and I couldn't.
Got you.
Couldn't hear.
Rozier kept asking Derevyanchenko, "Are you okay, champ? Do you want to go on, champ?" You don't do that to your guy.
Right.
You have to know when to protect your guy from himself. Do you think a guy from a war-torn country that's an Olympian that has fought the best?
Yeah, and he and lost to all of them.
Yes.
In shit decisions.
Bad decisions is going to say, yeah, I'm going to stop it.
Right. All right. So we don't think too much of Mbilli.
No, I think a real guy beats him.
I do too.
I think a real guy that can crack stops him. I don't really know what we think. I don't know what I think of. Even though he has a million fights, I don't really know what I think of Jaime Munguia's power yet, and the realness of it.
Right.
You know,
he boxes better than most people thought. Munguia when he wants to box. So
Munguia and Christian and Billy both throw a lot of punches. There's something to be
Yeah.
said for that.
It'll be a fun looking fight.
It will be.
All right.
So yeah, guys, this Wednesday, our guys
Pro
over at
Box.
Pro Box, Jared Hurd, Jason Rosario, two ex-champs trying to
resurrect a career.
Resurrect it. Who are they? So they're fighting at middleweights. They were both at 54 at their best.
Correct.
I wouldn't, if I was either one of them, I wouldn't want to with any of these maniacs at 54. So 60 is wide open.
Yeah, I mean, I think both guys are just seeing where their bodies are
I
at.
do too, but I think it's a great matchup.
Yeah, it should be fun on Pro Box.
My predictions are either they beat the shit out of each other, a la Ward Gotti, or someone gets the guy who's more not there gets sparked clean out. I'm picking. This is 10 rounds.
Yeah.
I'm picking Jared Hurd by stoppage late.
Okay.
Jared Hurd in 8.
Rosario's been all of his fights end in stoppage. Jared Hurd 8, but Hurd got stopped in the 10th against.
Didn't J-Rock stop him, or did that go to the distance?
Went to distance.
He's only been stopped once, I think.
Yeah, and he lost a splitter to Lou. Yeah, his whole thing was his iron chin. Yeah, I'm gonna say he stops Rosario. Rosario, I think is really done. If Hurd loses, I hope they don't give him a license. The way he fights, his style, because it'll be bad. The way he always loses badly.
Depending on how this happens and plays out, I might say I don't want to see either one of them. You know, if they were to beat the shit out of each other, I might say, I don't know, man. You went to war with this guy.
I mean, this is like the comeback episode, though.
It is. And
on DAZN.
Hey, B, they think in their heads, who the fuck is at 160 besides this Janibek?
Right. I could make a run.
I can make a run. Maybe they're right. You know, can he get what does this lead? Does this lead to a big fight at 60? I think it might, the winner.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see.
So we're picking Jared Hurd.
Pro Box doing what they do, what we predicted they would do. You know, they were.
Yep.
I love what they're doing there. Angelo Leo resurrected his career with them. Salute to Pro Box, guys. Check it out. It's free.
Maybe they get a little Pro Box pixie dust sprinkled on them, and these guys.
One of these guys gets an Angelo Leo shot.
Right.
Guys, it's free on their YouTube, and there's a Pro Box app. So watch it on Wednesday. We both like Jared Hurd by stoppage late. On Saturday, you have DAZN, B. I think you're wrong.
Am I wrong? It was on the schedule that I pulled. It said DAZN.
There is an app called Boxing TV. It's like BXNG TV, which is a part of a bigger app. So I fucking go through the process to download all of this. I find the Boxing TV thing within it. I click on the thing and it's like this device incapable of blah, 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 blah. So guys, there's a venue for, say, a comedian is coming to town, a high profile artist, but they want to play in a more intimate venue. It's called the Met. It's right in Center City. It's beautiful venue. And they just recently put millions in to redo it. There's a Philly fight. There's a Philly card. The main event, Nair Albright, Chris Colbert. Both guys who have fought, real guys. Both Philly guys. And Bye-Bye Jennings, Brian Jennings, who fought for the title, versus a guy named Joel Cardle. I don't know who he is. B saying DAZN. I'm seeing this app called Boxing TV that I tried to get because I'd like to watch this card because I've always really liked Nair Albright.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him fight a ton of times, and I've always thought he was really good. I can't really find anything outside of Nair Albright 16-2. neither loss was by knockout. He lost to Jermaine Ortiz, who can obviously fight a little bit. And he lost his debut. I never count them a 4-rounder.
Right.
Who knows what happened there? I wasn't there.
Is this? I just want to make sure this is still happening because
Didn't you say you heard that it was canceled?
What? Nahir Albright and Chris Colbert?
No, the whole card. Didn't you hit me up about that?
No. Was the whole thing canceled? I'm seeing Brian Jennings is fighting at the Met in Philly on Saturday. I'm not seeing Nahir Albright and Chris Colbert anymore.
All right, now it's just saying Brian Jennings, Joe Arcado. 7 p.m. Boxing TV.
Boxing TV. Okay.
The Met, Philadelphia. That venue, guys, if you're close to Philly, if you're in Philly, Jersey, New York, you want to see fights in a place that's designed for fights. Imagine a really beautiful version of the Blue Horizon, if you can. I know that's an oxymoron, but we all love the Blue Horizon. So maybe that's canceled.
Yeah, I mean, fucking the fact that it's this hard to find shit is ridiculous.
It wasn't canceled up until 2 days ago. The fight was still on.
Okay.
Guys, there's that Floyd mockery of a fight is on the Zone pay-per-view, and on the undercard, Victor Ortiz versus a guy named Rodrigo Damian Correa.
Victor Ortiz has 2 fights scheduled in the next 2 weeks.
I don't know what that means. Which one is real then?
He's got this one scheduled for 8 rounds.
Yeah.
And then a TBA the following week in Mexico scheduled.
Who's the really young kid under Floyd?
Carmel Moten.
I heard he's on this card too.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Guys, I think it's $39 or $49.99. B and I aren't paying for it.
No. Let me know how it goes, guys. John Gotti Jr.
Yeah. So
John Gotti the third, excuse me.
What we want to discuss, because there's really nothing going on. If that Nahir Albright fight's canceled and I couldn't find it via this app it's supposed to be on, I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
And if you're interested in watching that Floyd thing, I guess more power to you. I guess maybe. We have an issue here, guys, at KEOTB. Me and this Mungie Long, have some beef.
What's beef?
We have
what?
We're putting our top 10 together.
We haven't.
And this guy is arguing with me. We mostly agree. But
arguing? It's not an argument.
I mean, what does that mean? I'm right and you're wrong.
I'm right and you're wrong.
We have our top 9, guys. They're all the same. One is switched up a little bit. For our number 10, B.
Guys, we're talking pound for pound, guys.
The knock 'em out the box pound for pound list. That's
official pound for pound.
Soon. We need your help on it.
You want to get the fans involved?
Well, we said we were going to do that. I mean, there's no way I'm just letting you put your guy in there.
My guy's not my guy.
It is. Well, it's clearly your guy because you're talking crazy. You think Tank should be number 10.
10.
I think Lomachenko should be number 10.
No.
Lomachenko beat Devin Haney and is the real guy at 135, the lineal real champion, and got hosed. And then goes to Australia because he's always on the road.
Kambosos.
And stops Kambosos. So his last 2 wins was beating Devin Haney and getting jobbed. And then Kambosos. Who did Tank beat before Frank Martin?
Doesn't matter. He beat Frank Martin, and Frank Martin's way better than Kambosos. And in theory, Lomachenko was the lineal champ who got hosed. So, guys, how are we gonna do this, B? When are we gonna put up this thing? Sooner rather than later? Sooner, yeah. We gotta do it this week.
All right. So we're gonna put a poll up, guys. You're gonna vote who you think the number 10 guy should be on the knock 'em out the box pound for pound. Tank Davis
or add your guy in.
No.
Loma doesn't deserve to be on there.
No,
right?
no. Now what are you even doing now?
No, I don't like your rules. You were trying to sneak
I
in.
don't like yours. You're trying to sneak in someone who's not a top 10 guy when this guy beat the lineal champion and got robbed.
That was like 2 years ago
fighting
already.
cab drivers.
Cab drivers. Ryan Garcia is a cab driver?
A little bit.
Hector Luis Garcia?
Yeah, a little bit.
Cab driver?
A little bit.
Hector Luis Garcia beat Chris Colbert, who was supposed to be at the Met in your city.
Right. You're just off. You're just wrong here.
No, I'm not.
The way I have it, let me see.
Read your 10, and I'll read.
Well, our 1, 2, and 3 are the same, so we're doing it that way. We have at number 3, Usyk. At number 2, Bud. At number 1, the monster Naoya Inoue. I have Beterbiev at 4, Bivol at 5, Canelo at 6, Bam at 7, Shakur at 8, Junto Nakatani at 9, and Lomachenko at 10. B has Bam at 4. I think it's high. I think it's too high.
Why is it too high? He beat a legend in Gallo.
He did. He's
the legend killer.
He did. I think
it's the Hall of Famer and a legend.
I will you have him at 4. I have it at 7. I have no problem with a meeting of the minds in between there. And moving Bam up from 7
to 4
to 5 or 6. No, that won't be.
He's number 4.
You need no.
I think we're gonna have to do separate lists, and what we'll do is, for publishing purposes, once we figure out 10, then we'll get the fans to vote, and we'll put the winner. That'll be on the graphic.
So we're doing 2. We're having them help us with 2 situations.
Yeah. So in 2 weeks it'll be officially posted, but they already know. But yeah, they gotta. Is it Vinny's list or Brendo's list? Mudgy or Taro?
Yeah, but I'm willing to negotiate, and you're not.
That's because you're a better hetero life partner than I am.
I'm willing to bump Bam up. You're not willing to bump him down 1 or 2. I'm saying I have no problem moving Bam, up to 5 or 6. And you're not. So what we'll do is I'll make a little video right when we get off the air right now, and we'll put the for the number 10. You're completely out of your mind thinking you're going to let them do write-in votes. It's Tank or Loma as 10.
Tank or Loma?
Yeah.
You don't want to do write-ins?
No, you're out of your mind.
Why don't we just leave? Why don't we just leave?
You're out of your mind putting Tank above Loma in the first place.
I'm not out of my mind.
He beat the lineal champ clean. Everyone saw it. Everyone thought it was a robbery. No one thinks Haney won that fight.
Who's better, Frank Martin or it's what have you done for me lately? How long ago was that fight? And now he wants to take time off.
Oh no! See, this is what I always told you, that you never admitted you're a fucking Loma hater on the low. Always said it. When I placed him, you always said it.
What do you mean? You've seen me fight with guys you're friends with on Twitter about how great Loma is.
Because they were shitting on him, and and you think like you saw this massive slippage in him. No one ever stopped Kambosos. He does with a body shot. So you're not even giving it. No, do I think Kambosos is good? No, but he's definitely tough and has never been stopped. And a 36-year-old Lomachenko did that. And what have you done for me lately? So let's apply that to Tank. What did he do? Who did he beat before Frank Martin? And who is Frank Martin?
He beat Ryan Garcia.
When was that?
2 years ago.
What have you done?
A little over a year ago. Last April. And then came back.
Loma was more recently than
and
that.
Knocked out Frank
Loma
Martin.
was the month after that, and he beat Devin Haney to be unified champ, the real champ at 35. So he became unified, then he beat up on Kambosos and stopped him.
Okay.
Now all of a sudden, this Ryan Garcia is good to you.
He was good to you. You want him in a rematch with Tank.
What are you talking about?
You just called it earlier in the show. You said you named him as a guy that would be a rematch for Tank.
No, I said they wanted Pitbull as a rematch for Tank.
You also mentioned Ryan.
I gotta hear a playback.
And you want Ryan to fight Devin.
Yes. I want him to not be on dope and fly Devin's head. Because I'll tell you why real quick, even though we're joking around. I don't think either one of them should be in the real mix. So if we're going to do sideshow shit, let's do it.
Yeah, I actually don't think you called for Ryan Tank. I think I mixed up Tank and Devin because I don't like either one of them.
What I was implying when they called for the November 2nd fight for Tank in Vegas, what I was saying is Pitbull losing upset the apple cart because that was low-hanging fruit for them for a Pitbull Tank rematch. And now they got nobody.
Nobody.
So I'm gonna make a little video on the IG story. And say, yo, what up?
Actually, you know what? I wanna change my pick. What do you think about that? I want to change my 10. I want to remove Tank from it. And I thought about this earlier. I want to nominate David Benavidez for 10. Moved up a weight class, fought a tough guy. He beat the hell out of everybody at 68. I want 3 light heavyweights.
So when we do this, I'm gonna say, all right, this sick maniac.
I want David Benavidez as 10.
I want David Benavidez as 10. I believe it should be Lomachenko. Here's the gimmick.
Loma versus Benavidez.
Cool. Yeah, guys. So, but other than that, and other than the ball busting, B and I see our top 10 really similarly, and we don't think there's much wiggle room for other people. Meaning,
there's guys
pretty much think your list is terrible if it's way off from us. You got people moved in different positions. I don't really fight about
I see Errol Spence on people's list still. And
stop the madness. Stop the madness.
Inactive over a year.
Inactive and no fight planned.
Right.
You know, we are a little bit lenient with guys if they've been a little bit inactive, but they're okay. There's a fight on the horizon. Better be have got hurt clearly. We're gonna, you know. What I mean?
I want to take Tank off the list and put David Benavidez.
Well, see, that proves you're less of a maniac because you know Lomachenko is more suited for the top 10.
Guys, write in. Is it David Benavidez or Loma for 10?
But you want to do the write-in? I'm gonna.
No, I just want to hear.
Oh, that's fine. Fair.
I just want to hear what you guys think.
No. Totally fine with that. Totally fine with that.
Who's crazier? Me or Paz?
I mean, I'm super logical and I'm right. How do you feel about that?
I don't like it.
I don't like you. I don't like yours.
So
I do really like David Benavidez, and there are those honorable mentions, you know, guys that were floating around that could be on it, and he would be on mine.
So just to be clear, here's my list, 1 through 10. Then I want you to read yours.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
This is Benito Mussolini.
Yeah.
Current pound for pound. At number 1, Naoya Inoue. At number 2, Terrence Bud Crawford. At number 3, Alexander Usyk. At number 4, Jesse Bam Rodriguez. At number 5, Artur Beterbiev. At number 6, Dmitry Bivol. At number 7, Saul Canelo Alvarez. At number 8, Shakur Stevenson. At number 9, and new to the list, Junto Nakatani. Yep. And at number 10, and new to the list, David Benavidez.
It really gets scary talking about sharing a boxing mind when we make these separately and they're this close.
David Benavidez.
Number 1, the monster. Naoya Inoue. Number 2, Bud Crawford. Number 3, Alexander Usyk. Number 4, Artur Beterbiev. Number 5, Dmitry Bivol. Number 6, Canelo Alvarez. Can I sidebar? You and I are only taking so much more before he's off of this.
Canelo is hanging on by a little thread.
Berlanga, when that fight is made, that May fight, if it's fucking not up to par, he's out as far as we're concerned.
What are we giving him after the Berlanga fight? We put out another list.
What are we giving him after
how much
he
time
destroys him to the May fight?
Right, but who's in the, like, when he books the May fight, if it's not, he's
he's out right then.
Right then, boom, he goes.
That's it. He drops off. If it's some
Right.
schmohawk,
This is his last benefit of the doubt vote.
this is his last benefit of the doubt fight for us. Then
For us.
Canelo is off, and there will be an asterisk. Don't write us about Canelo until he fights guys again. And if he wants to do the Payday World Tour, we're happy for him.
Just
but he's not. It's
not on KOTB.
not on KOTB list, guys.
We're up to
number 7, Bam Rodriguez. Number 8, Shakur Stevenson. Number 9, Junto Nakatani. Number 10, Vasil Lomachenko. That's the more superior list.
I think it's a disrespectful list.
So that's the dumbest thing I ever heard, because they're almost the same. So you're just an idiot for saying that. You're just proving you're a boob.
You're rating Bam way too low. You're disrespecting.
You're rating him way too high.
You're disrespecting Gallo Estrada. You're disrespecting.
I'm not at all.
Yes, you are.
No,
you're
First
disrespecting
ballot Hall of Fame legend.
the great Roman Gonzalez. You're disrespecting a lot of people.
Chocolatito? How did that happen?
Because Gallo beat him. Bam beats Gallo to avenge his training partner. Bam essentially moves into where Chocolatito used to be, pound for pound. And that's just the way it goes. And you're being disrespectful about it. He should be on the upper half of the list. You're putting him on the lower half of the list because he wears Jenkos.
You're a complete moron. So not only are we taking
I'm not a moron. I'm a very stable genius.
We're taking this to the Knock'em Nation, and then we're going to take Bam's position later.
Mm-hmm.
So after we lock up number 10,
mm-hmm.
then we're doing another deal.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We got time. So unless you want to just rock, paper, scissors it.
No. We're taking it to the people.
I mean, I can hop on that Amtrak in
an
hour.
Hop on that Amtrak. We're going to just fight over this.
You want to rumble
over the list
on 30th Street?
Yeah, when you lose, Loma's number 10 and this Bam is number 7.
When I beat you up in your own city?
Mm-hmm.
How
that fucking movie playing?
Then I go down to South Street like Rocky, and everyone I run around and everyone follows me.
Right. While booing me.
That's what happens. Billy's got to carry you around after that.
Speaking of Billy Betts, what happened with this weekend? And did you parlay? Did you win anything? I know the ups. I gave 2 upset specials. Guido Vianello was 3-1. Sergey Derevyanchenko, I forget what the line was, but he fucking hurt his arm, which was frustrating as fuck when I thought,
So I didn't touch the upset specials this week. I didn't feel the confidence in the upset special from you. So,
interesting.
I don't think the vibes were flowing.
Understood.
But I did parlay the 2 overs, and we know how that went.
Lost by a half a round.
Yes.
The loss is a loss.
Mm-hmm.
So this bet, I don't think it was a bad bet. I think it was a bad beat is all really that kind of happened.
Ooh, I want to know financially, where are we at right now, Billy? Did you have to sell your donkey?
Well, let's just say the previous winnings cease to exist.
Oh, no.
But that's not all from boxing.
So what else have you been betting?
He's got these Phillies.
By the way, did you guys watch Ultimate Tire Wrestling, which was on in between the fights? Billy, you got to take action on this.
Billy, did you watch any of the ESPN card?
I didn't.
What'd you watch? The Backyard Islands?
I didn't watch it, no.
Okay. Now, he really hates this sport when it's on. He's got money on it, and he has access for free.
My question is,
I wasn't home. I was out, and my base.
All right, that's always fair.
My base had gotten a lot
stronger.
How many coats? How many coats were on around 10:30, 11 o'clock?
How many coats?
Yeah, you got a base layer, and then you got to put it.
I got you. Yeah, too many to count.
So there's Ultimate Tire Wrestling. I want you to start taking action on that. Are you hip to this sport?
I'm not.
Air quote sport that aired on fucking regular ESPN or aired on ESPN.
Insanity.
It's 2 giant truck tires, and the premise is they got 2 guys are fighting against each other, and the goal is to stuff one guy stuff each other into the tires.
Billy would love to do that.
I think I'd be good at that.
I do too.
I'm unstuffable.
You are. Hey, yo.
Oh my
That's
God.
kind of an anti-AO.
Yeah. You're unstuffable.
That's an anti-AO.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, coming up, there's nothing, this weekend that we think you can see.
No.
The Saturday after that, Diego Pacheco is coming back. That's the Saturday card.
He's ranked way too high. Speaking of people,
way too high, and thought of too highly.
Yeah.
Outside of rankings, because they can be corrupt, but just so yeah. And then NUA is fighting Tuesday, September 3rd at 5 a.m. our time, East Coast. And
day
then
after my birthday.
There's really there's a pro box card on the 11th, and then that Saturday the 14th is Canelo. So there's a little baby drought right here, which we've been spoiled, and now you feel the being spoiled
right
when there's even a mini drought without 1 week. Do we have any mail? Are we going to talk about this mail you two hipped me to?
Yeah, read this mail. By the way, guys, if you have kids around or you're in the car with kids, I'd cover their ears.
Well, let me read the nice mail first before we go into the mail that's going to get you fired.
I'm just warning the listeners. Some people listen to this with their kids that they should probably turn it off now.
I don't think they should listen to this with their kids. Earmuffs. We curse a little bit. I mean, we're not raunchy in terms of like anything sexual.
Yes, Billy is. But what do you mean? You say no Diddy every 3 sentences.
I mean, if your child knows what that means, then you're maybe not the best parent.
And now we're attacking the listeners whose kids listen to the show.
Well, if the kid knows that Puff Daddy is a sexual deviant, and that's my fault all of a sudden.
Well, if you think the mail's bad now, after what you just said, the mail's just going to get inherently worse.
I'm not implying that. I'm saying
you're saying I'm a bad parent.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm implying that if you're taking it to that chamber,
all Billy and Brendan talk about is getting drunk.
I mean, that part's true, but I don't think that a kid can't hear that.
I seen kids feed Billy alcohol.
Sure.
All right, we're actually going to start with Sean O'Reilly.
A
nice Irishman from
Sean O'Reilly from the Emerald Isle. Hey, put up your ducks. It's time to fight.
I feel like it might benefit you to read this one in an Irish accent, but he says,
"Well, Popeye." I just do Popeye.
Yeah, he just did Popeye.
That's good. All right. Well, lads, big fan of the show.
Oh, lads, big fan of the show.
Thank you, man. Thank you for listening.
I'm a big fan of the show. God, I don't want to.
The drive home from work is always easier on a Wednesday, sitting in traffic, listening to the pod.
On the right side of the road.
He's got a 2-part question that I will just read the first one to start.
Okay.
He says, I'd love to know both of your favorite Irish fighters and real Irish guys too, not American Irish.
Yes.
Mine would be Bernard Dunn. Not sure your opinions of him, but his fights were always free on TV over here in Ireland. And I was a 12-year-old sitting in the pub with my grandfather and stepfather watching him beat Ricardo Cordoba in the 11th in Dublin, which was the ESPN fight in the year of 2009. Obviously, I liked watching Andy Lee and then going back to watch clips of Steve Collins too, but he was long before my time. So just wondering who your favorite Irish fighters or fights.
Steve Collins, great fighter. For how small Ireland is, man, a lot of tough guys out there, man. A lot of champions. Respect. My personal favorite Irish fighter of all time would be Barry McGuigan. I got to talk to, and hang out with Andy Lee a couple times, and he might be the nicest guy I ever met in boxing, and he was deadly for a minute there.
Sure.
I think he had more in the tank. He was in there with some good guys, man. Andy was really good. Andy's a really good coach too. Super high boxing IQ. Andy's just a great dude. Big shout out Rob Kelly from Ireland. nasty on the mic, Rob Kelly, and a boxing historian. I'd like Rob to hit. Rob, I hope everything's doing well, and I know you checked the show out, so thanks for listening. Help me out with this. If I'm, if there's some legendary guys that never really got a name over here, you know what I'm saying? Hit me to it, because Rob's like the mayor of Ireland, not just the city, the country. His family, Rob's from a family of heavies. That's all I'm gonna say. Heavy duty guys that are no joke. Rob knows Andy, actually, Andy Lee.
Oh
He
yeah.
knows, yeah, anyone that's wrapped up in boxing over there, Rob knows him. But for me, it's Barry McGuigan, and I met Andy a bunch of times. And when I told Rob how cool he was like, "Yeah, trust me, that was real. It wasn't fake. That's how he is. He's like that." But yo, Rob Kelly, how you doing, man? Yeah, let us know if we're leaving out any legends from there that maybe just didn't ever gain a name in the States. Big, who's your guy?
Okay, so I got a few.
Okay, I love Wayne McCullough, the Pocket Rocket.
That's what I was just gonna say. Going back to Wayne McCullough, Stevie Collins, they're from like the same era. And
Billy's laughing at Pocket Rocket. He loves that.
yeah, he was a little bantamweight, Wayne
Yeah.
McCullough, silver medalist, if I'm not mistaken. So Wayne McCullough, and Stevie Collins, like that early '90s era.
Yeah, man. Steve Collins just fucking
fought everybody. Fucking love Stevie Collins.
me too.
And those fights were hard for us to see. Though, that's when HBO was king and Showtime would have those fights on, if I'm not mistaken, those the British super middleweights.
There's people that think Stevie Collins is the best Irish fighter of all time.
Yeah.
It's not a stretch.
And then more recently, of course, because I saw him fight a whole bunch of times, was Carl Frampton.
Yeah.
Love
Frampton was
Carl
always
Frampton.
fun.
Love him. But the name that's closest to my heart, because he fought in New York all the time, was Duddy.
John Dodie.
John Duddy. Irish Ropes Promotions. You get to go to the Garden and see Duddy fight. Always an exciting event. Hell of a nice guy. He's on Broadway now, I think, acting. Still lives in New York.
Yeah.
But Duddy, for what he lacked in skill, he made up for it in heart. And I really enjoyed those nights in the early 2000s, going to fights, and Duddy would either be the main event, if we would just go out.
Super fun era.
Yeah, and oftentimes we bought tickets right then, right there. Or if he was on an undercard that we caught. But all time is Stevie Collins as far as fighting there, who I never got to see live.
Right.
When I was a kid. Really, I was a huge Frampton fan, and I'll tell you why. Back in the day on the old school ESPN message boards for boxing, one of his amateur trainers was like a regular. He would post on the box.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool.
So we knew about Carl Frampton when he was like
a kid,
like 17 years old.
Right. That's dope.
Yeah. So it was like, oh shit, this guy's like they're like, yeah, we're getting him ready for this. And then he'd be like, if you guys, this guy would post a link. His name was Pat Breen. That's the guy's name. I actually heard he passed away. He would post a link, and back in the day, like real grainy video, you could see.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like some amateur tournament that Frampton was winning. But it's John Duddy as far as being a homer, and Stevie Collins and Carl Frampton tied for guys that are actually like living and fighting out of Ireland. Duddy fought out of New York.
Yeah, I think we both gave like our favorites and personal things.
Yeah.
Stevie Collins, bro, he fought a prime Mike McCallum, Reggie Johnson, Sambu Callum in Italy. I thought he won that fight, and I remember that. I thought he won. He beat Chris Eubank.
He beat Eubank, yeah.
He fought
He beat Nigel Benn twice.
Yeah, come on, man. He fought a prime Calzaghe. I'm not saying that he won. But I mean, he didn't, obviously. Joe retired undefeated, but just he might be the best.
Yeah, like I said, that era, early to mid '90s, that's a great era.
Barry McGuigan, Pocket Rocket, those guys, a lot of great fighters out of there, man. A lot of
Sure.
great fighters.
Great
Salute, man. Thanks
personality.
for writing in.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those guys were super charming.
I should have researched a little bit better.
Barry McGuigan is good as an analyst, too, in my opinion.
Certainly. So is Frampton.
Yeah. He needs more work. Meaning, I don't mean more work. He's not good enough. I mean,
Get
you need
more
to
work,
give
yeah.
him more work.
Agreed. I think he's on Sky, so we don't hear him.
Yeah, you're right.
On to our next email
Uh-huh.
from Billy Corgan.
Smashing Pumpkins.
Hi, I'm Billy. I know how much you love Bud Crawford, but you guys even went as far as considering him top 25,
Yeah.
which I find outright bizarre, ridiculous, and simply laughable. All right, so if he's really as great as you say he is, which Hall of Famer did he beat? In your minds, has he even fought a top 100 of all time? Does his resume stand out that much to you that you ride his nuts this hard? I'm honestly curious, hoping you could answer. Sincerely, Billy.
Hey, sincerely, go fuck yourself, you fucking piece of shit.
The ride is nuts and all that. That's talking out the side of your mouth. The three of us talked about this. If it's someone busting our balls that we're friends with, we're gonna stuff you in a fucking pillow and clobber you when we see it. If you're trolling us, as the kids say, you're a dildo. And if you're serious, you don't know boxing. I mean, how many 100 greatest fighters of all time did Floyd beat?
Right. It's got to line up in your weight class at the time that that you are fighting in that weight class. You can only
fight the guys who are active in your weight class when you fight them. If you're special and you're mowing through divisions 1, 2, 3 at a time, 35, 40, 47.
Right.
Hey, would Errol Spence have gone on to an even greater career if Bud didn't retire him and then we're adding him into the conversation?
By the way,
he's just beating the dog shit out of people who possibly could have been, maybe. I don't know.
I also take exception to when people like this write in with a sock puppet name and don't reveal themselves. So,
well, that goes for the social media where you're an egg with one follower and you're being fresh. So,
right.
So
or if you won't show, you don't show your face. You have
if you're being greasy with the
avatar.
on his nuts or however you word it, man up. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Don't answer this by saying, "Oh, fuck you guys. You don't like anyone disagreeing with you." Wrong. We enjoy when someone feels differently than us because it's good talking points and it's content, but people do it respectfully. They have many times. People have written in and said, "I thought you guys were off about this," or "I thought this guy won," et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we never cut a promo on anyone. But don't talk out the side of your mouth.
All I'm saying is, you wrote in with a sock puppet name of a famous guy. You're a fucking cornball loser if you took time out to make up an email account to write this podcast to say that. You want to come correct, you want to say it the right way, fine. But it's not just this. There's other people that have been kind of milling around in the comments too that we see. Don't we see you. We see you.
Yeah,
and this is actually Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins. How do we feel?
If this is Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins, we could work it out.
We could rumble it out.
That's what I'm saying. I don't give a fuck about Billy Corgan.
We could rumble.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, it's just when you said there's an irony in it. The same people with the little comments also don't have a picture, don't have a real name, don't have where they're from,
and it's all and it's all pertaining to Bud too. We never got heat until so.
Is it's either the same guy or is it you just we got a couple mealy mouth kids listen to us. Sometimes you guys get smacked around a little bit.
Right. You want to keep sending love letters like this? Fine, we'll read them.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? If you see me at the fights, you see Vinny at the fights, if you see Billy at the liquor store. You know what I'm saying? Why just say it to my face? Ride his dick.
Right.
Shut the fuck up. And if you want me to answer your question, I'll answer your question. I want you. I'm going to put the onus on you. I want you to tell me that your top 25, if you really want to do some work, and then tell me, besides Muhammad Ali, which he fought in the greatest era of all time, and Sugar Ray Robinson. We're not saying he's either one of those guys or Durant.
Correct.
We're saying he could have possibly broken into the top 25.
That's also something I wanted to bring up when you brought up the point. We weren't stern on Bud Crawford is top 25 all time. We were giving these scenarios. If he does this guy dirty,
and if he continues this, he's top 20. It's hard to argue that he's not top 25.
Right. If he has another couple really good
Jesus
wins against really good guys, it's hard.
So why don't you write in your top 25? And then I want you to each member of that top 25.
I have my top 20 locked in my phone for years, and I haven't extended it to 25. It's my top 20, and none of them are of, I don't want to say the modern era, but none of them are, newer guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the
40s. None are from the fractured belt era.
Correct.
It's probably safe for a few.
Perfect way to put it.
All right. So, Billy Corgan.
Yeah. We don't have heat with you disagreeing with us. I just want to make that clear.
I got heat with the way you disagree with us.
I have heat with the way you talk. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
And if you are the Billy Corgan,
get some fucking manners.
You did your band dirty. All right.
Yeah, don't make me cut a promo on Smashing Pumpkins.
Seriously. Great.
That's
great
next,
band,
Billy.
I like Smashing Pumpkins, by the way. But this Billy Corgan, Billy Corgan.
That's it for the mailbag B. Let's talk about there's a green light for the merch. So guys, we got the green light. We didn't need a green light per se, but I made sure we had a green light to get them where they will always be available moving forward. So we'll let you know as soon as they drop, and we'll make other stuff too. Hoodies, tees. It's, you know what I'm saying? So we've been saying we're working on it. I handled everything.
Thanks.
It's coming soon. Big,
right.
Let them know where they can find you.
All right, you can get me. I'm a little hot. I'm a little fucking.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a little charged up right now.
I understand.
At the Killer B24 no, what am I talking about? At the Killer B24 on Twitter, at I_no_that_kid on IG. Find us at KOTB Boxing on IG, at KOTB Podcast on YouTube.
Peace. It's at Vinnie_Paz on Twitter, at BoxCutterPazzy on IG, jmtstore.com for all things musical and merch, and the KEOTB new merch will be out soon. Billy, you got anything?
I don't got anything.
Say good night, Billy.
Good night, Billy.
Peace.
But bad night to you, Billy Corgan.
Yeah, Billy Corgan.
Bad night.
Bad.
Peace.